All you'll be signing is your own death warrant today, Jester. No more jokes about demon hunters being played by children. No more suggestions that because we run like Naruto, we must be played exclusively by weebs. Your reign of terror is over. You're coming with me. Okay, just let me finish my monster.
Okay, I think we're about right, okay, I'm going to do it, Is everyone ready?
Yeah, I'm ready.
Okay,
Alright,
shh, right, okay, on 1, 2, 3.
Oh, where am I?
Oh, it seems our guest is finally awake.
Dude, did you really need to put a bag on my head?
But of course, no one can know the location of our secret lair.
What? Mate, we're in the Black Temple. This is obviously the Black Temple.
No we're not. This is a secret base where only the worthy can...
Bro, this is literally the Black Temple. Like, seriously, over there's that staircase that leads to Gorefiend, and if we take that other path, we'll end up at Mother Shiraz and Illidan's harem. Ooh, actually, that's not a bad idea. Do you mind untying me and I'll just head right on up?
Silence! It's not the Black Temple. It's somewhere completely different. Anyway, where we are is not of any relevance. You should be more concerned with what is going to happen to you.
Yeah, about that. I was trying to enjoy my vacation. Was this all really necessary?
Oh, it was necessary. Do you really think you could go all this time insulting the greatest class in World of Warcraft without repercussions? The chosen slayers of Lord Illidan do not tolerate such insolence, especially not from one such as you.
That's pretty rich coming from a guy who uses a double-ended dildo as his main weapon.
Oh, silence! That's not funny.
Kinda is funny. Anyway, who the hell are you guys, and what's this all about?
Glad you finally asked. Behold, we are the Council of Mature Demon Hunters, an elite order of slayers made up of only the oldest and most experienced demon hunter players. Allow me to introduce our leadership team. Illidan Slayer.
Right. Dildo Dan Baggins. Oh no.
James.
Oh, hi James.
James Illidan Fan XX.
For fuck's sake, James.
And of course me, Illidarius, High Slayer of the Order, for I am the oldest, and therefore I am the Council's leader.
And how old are you exactly?
I am 18 years and 2 months in age, which is a good 4 years older than the next oldest member of the Council.
Very mature then. So what can I do for you?
You are our prisoner. We have brought you here to suffer for your insults against demon hunters across the world. Look at you, thinking you're so funny with your obviously serious jokes. But have you ever stopped and thought that maybe you're the biggest joke of them all? Talking about classes you know nothing about. I mean, look at your Warlock video. Your rotation in that footage looked like it was being performed by a quadrispaz 10-year-old whose hands had just been forced through a sausage-making machine. And as for demon hunters being easy to play, maybe you should consider joining us then, seeing as your hunter video had an FPS of 10 at best.
Which, funnily enough, happens to be the average age of everyone other than me in this room.
At least my household Dell, as you sarcastically put it, doesn't blue screen any time that an Elisham decides to show off a new spell effect. And as for these subscribers you refer to so often, we all know that 90% of those degenerates are only watching you because they find your female elf voices a little too lifelike. Isn't that right, boys?
Yes, very good actually. Well, thank you.
And it's not just us that you've angered either. James, get the letter. Read him the letter. What letter would that be, Illidarius? The one that the Death Knight sent. You know which letter I'm talking about, boy. Yes, of course. Just 1 second, let me get it up. Dear Illidarius and the Council of Mature Demon Hunters, congratulations on your recent capture of the notorious dickface known as Vulgrin. My colleagues and I were deeply hurt by his comments towards our class in his Warlock video, when he referred to us as moving so slowly that people could walk away from us if we attacked them, and then he showed a stock image of a wheelchair in the background. He will never know the horrific, painful sacrifices that we Death Knights have made for the world. To that end, please accept the gift of these bolt cutters. Use them to cut through his Achilles tendon slowly, so that he will also be wheelchair bound like us. Yours sincerely, Darkthus, High Overlord of the Order of the Edgy Blade, a Death Knight support group for the less able. P.S. Hope to see you all at the Pain Olympics this year, so we can finally see just who has the greatest self-harm fetish. Ta-ta and farewell. You see? You're a marked man. Oh god, you guys are serious, aren't you? Anyway, you know what? If you're gonna kill me, then let's get on with it. Come on, kill me. Kill you? Haha, not so fast, my funny green friend. We have something better in store for you. Something which will make you beg for death. Something to make you pay for deafening all your viewers' right ears whilst sparing the left. You seem very keen to keep making these Warcraft videos, so why don't I show you my collection of 10,000 furry roleplay screenshots from Goldshire? Maybe that will inspire you to make a "So you want to play a Vulpera" video, eh? You sick bastard. You wouldn't. Oh, wouldn't I? James, get the projector. Hello guys, I am Vulgrin and welcome back to another class video, this time the Demon Hunter, ironically the class which I consider the most unique to the Warcraft franchise. I mean, think about it, Death Knights, Paladins and Shamans are pretty strong staples of WoW's lore and artistic style, but there are similar concepts in other fantasy franchises. Demon Hunters though. Sure, there are individuals out there who use dark powers to combat evil forces, but do any really resemble the warriors of Illidan? I'd say no. And on the topic of Illidan himself, what a character! One of the most memorable in Warcraft 3, alongside Arthas, Thrall and Rexxar for me personally. So why do I say it's ironic? Because the Demon Hunter was only introduced in 2016, so pretty recently, and coincidentally about 6 years after the average Demon Hunter player started elementary school. I think all of us knew from the beginning that Demon Hunters would eventually make it into WoW as a class one day, especially when Death Knights were brought in with Wrath. And much like with Wrath, when Demon Hunters finally did join the game, we saw the same phenomena occurring across Azeroth. Hi, I'm a new player, and I want nothing more than to lick on Illidan's fat stinky goat hooves, so what I'm going to do is make a name which has Illidan somehow fudged into it. I know, original, right? And then I'm going to double jump straight into the new expansion with absolutely no clue what the fuck I'm doing, and run around wiping dungeon groups like I'm Barry Allen drunk on demonic poppers. Don't do drugs, kids. Like with Death Knights, the cool visuals and the novelty of the class hooked so many new players to the game, which is great. And sure, long-time players like me also gave it a try, and Mardoom was pretty fun, even if it didn't hold a candle to the DK starting experience, but ultimately, we had mains already. This is the same thing that happened with the Death Knight. Most players tried it, thought it was cool, but went back to playing their trusted mains after a short while. So the Demon Hunter ended up with the same reputation as the Death Knight had on launch, that most of the committed DH players were noobs, or were just bad players, or simply wanted to roleplay as Sandra Bullock in Bird Box. I'm sure that some of that reputation will fade over time, just like it has with the Death Knight, but there's a difference here. Yes, the DK was overpowered on launch, and yes, you got a ridiculously good set of gear from the starting zone, which made low-level PvP a hilarious joke for all DK players. But you had 3 specs to choose from the beginning, designed the old-fashioned way, and your rotation wasn't particularly simpler than any other class in the game really. The Demon Hunter though? Let's talk about Havoc for a moment. Imagine this, take a rogue, remove stealth, but give the class a double jump, glide ability, ridiculous mobility, and the ability to see enemies who are in stealth. Keep the asshole nature of the player base, but cut the average player's age in half. Now simplify the rotation down so that it could be played by a BM hunter wearing the jizz-infused blindfold of Sir Yaris or whatever the fuck it's called, and bump the damage through the roof. That is Havoc. And there's not a whole lot else to say. Yes, obviously there are some great Havoc players out there, and the buff that Demon Hunters bring makes having one pretty much a necessity, not to mention that like Hunters, they can sort out a ton of mechanics due to their mobility. The thing is, you only need one, and having more than one isn't really worth it, and those mechanics can often be handled just as well by a monk or even a fury warrior, so the utility doesn't compare to that brought by a hunter. But the real issue why Havoc gets a lot of hate comes down to its simplicity. You see, it's obvious that when Blizzard designed the DPS side of the Demon Hunter, they were thinking about new players, or those who were returning after a long period of absence. So what they came up with was a flashy, easy to play specialisation, and it's fun, for the first hour or two, and then it just becomes boringly simple. Now, you may not know this, but I'm a transmog whore. I don't mind admitting it, and so I also don't mind telling you that I would consider maining a Demon Hunter at some point. if it wasn't for one key feature that I'm going to talk about next. Metamorphosis, aka your demon form, aka huge-headed goat man with spikes coming out of his arse. Seriously, what happened when designing this form? Blizzard, you have so many awesome demons you could have used as the basis for this transformation, not to mention the actual form Warlocks used, which was miles cooler than this, before, you yoinked it off them to give it to Spazimodo, Slayer of the Illidari over here. Whoever designed this form has committed an act of base treachery against the genuinely cool concept of the Demon Hunter, which existed before this abomination was brought into being, and they deserve to have a Sargerite keystone shoved so far up their anus that their next Fel Barrage will be coming out of their mouth, rather than their dick. Now that I've talked about the DPS side of the class, you're probably wondering what my thoughts are on Vengeance. It's alright. Vengeance Demon Hunters are pretty cool, and as you might expect, it's a little bit more complex and rewarding, seeing as tanking requires an extra brain cell or two compared to melee DPS. But they seem super rare, and I think that's because again, most serious tanks would rather play a class with other options for DPS or healing, like every other class that can tank, rather than just having Havoc as your only alternative to your main spec. Not very good. It's genuinely a shame, because despite how much hate I give the class, I love the theme of the Demon Hunter. The history of the class, the story of Illidan before they turned him into a Mary Sued Legion, but that's by the by, and this really unique ripped and patched armour aesthetic that they have. They're all amazing touches. I would gladly play one someday if Blizzard made Havoc more complex and rewarding to play. But here's the thing, they're not going to do that, and I'm glad they're not going to do that. Some specs should be aimed at less advanced players, or those who want to enjoy their content, be that top level raiding, high-end PvP or just casual play, without having to focus on a difficult rotation. Havoc is one such spec. It's about style in this case rather than substance, and that's fine. If anything, I just wish that Blizzard would make that third DPS spec that everybody's been looking for so long. Now lots of people have theorised on what that third spec might one day be like, including me, so Ian, if you're watching this, here are my carefully crafted concept notes for how that third Demon Hunter spec would play. Cue dramatic music. So this spec is going to all be about maximising what makes Demon Hunters great and what Demon Hunter players love. So it's going to be green, it's going to be naked, and it's going to be deep into some hardcore BDSM mechanics. So your main weapon is going to be a whip, and all of your abilities are going to be AoE, right? But here's the thing, they can also target your allies if they're in the same area of effect, giving them some raunchy buffs. In your offhand is your dick, which you're going to be using to hose everyone down with fell juices. Now to do that, you're going to be using a refillable resource that you can refill by drinking a potion which has charges. We'll call that Monstrosity Fell Energy Ultra. You're also going to get a bonus to armor and damage based on how much armor you're wearing, but get this, the bonus gets greater with the less armor you're wearing, because you're a demon hunter, and demon hunters like to dress like they've just come back from a Glasgow tunnel rave. Finally, your demon form is going to be nothing like the shit that Havoc and Vengeance have got going on. You are going to transform into something truly terrifying. A demon that even the staunchest players will fear. So when you hit that Metamorphosis button, you're going to transform into Ellen DeGeneres. And there you have it. Perfection. Ian, I'll email you across my bank details. Send my royalty checks there, please. Cheers. So, Vulgrin. As we speak, James Illidan Fan XX is going to fetch our projector so you can enjoy this quality content that we have been making. Have you any last words before I subject you to the torment of this furry roleplay compilation? Yeah, actually. Your council's a joke, Illidan's a simp, and you all dress like meth-addicted cybergoths. Enough! You will pay for this. James, bring out that projector. What is it now? Well, actually, it's getting pretty late and I have school tomorrow, so... Seriously, James? I thought we talked about this. Alright, can any of the rest of you take care of this? I mean, I was going to go and play some Fortnite later, to be honest, so I thought James would handle this. What about you, Dildo Baggins? Well, I would, but I think my tendies and potato waffles are just about done, and Mum will be calling me downstairs any minute now, so... Fine! He's tied up. He's not going anywhere. We'll reconvene same time tomorrow, and deal with the prisoner then. You can sit and think on your demise, Jester. Okay, I'll see you all later. Much love, kiss kiss, bye bye. Oh, this really isn't good. I've got to think of a way to get out of here. I can't think of a worse fate than being subjected to hours of Vulpera ERP. Wait, what's this? Someone left this old double-headed sex toy lying around. I think it's got an edge on it. Who knows what these sick demonic bastards have been up to. Right, let me just try and reach down for an... Ooh, it's a bit sticky. Alright, I've got it. Let's see if I can cut these ropes. There, done it. Now to get out of here and... What's this? Chad Furian's Druid Safari? Well, there's nowhere else I can go. Guess this is the only option. Here goes.